Hey guys, Matt here. It's Broken Supercoach checking in. Monday morning, game's just gone. Or rounds just finished up, I should say. Um, and let's have a look how we've gone. So we'll go through. We'll take a look at the teams. I'll show you what I did. If you didn't watch the video on Friday, I'll show you the trades I made. Couple of issues this week. I had some really good plans. If I was honest, some really good plans, but they've all gone out the door now. So with the Steele injury. And sadly, it doesn't look like we're going to get English back either. So, gone up another 5K, so that's good. We're slowly clawing away. It's a marathon, not a sprint. But I've been sprinting the whole way through this marathon. So if that's an analogy I'd like to use, I have just been pumping trades. And this week, I only wanted to make one trade, but it's going to have to be two this week. So that is a really precarious position to be on. 14 trades by round 11. Just really precarious. Especially not adding a premium this week. That's the kicker. So that really hurts. And I may just do one and just bank money big time, which may not be a bad idea if you think about the trade situation. And just trade during the buy. So that could be the go, but I don't like that either. And we'll go into why. So let's jump into the team first and foremost. We'll give it a review, all right. So what we did, we brought in Dawson. Really happy with this score, 107. We're expecting that from him, even in a game where he got tagged for a little bit. I think the commentators played it up a little bit, but he did get tagged. It didn't work though. He's too class a player. 107. Fielded Dacos, as we always do. And yeah, he's going up and down. I think we're just going to have to accept that we're going to hold this guy. I went $200 down. It's break even 75. So reliable. Unless he gets injured or rested, he's putting out 70. So we're not really losing much here. We're loving this. Didn't see the Richmond game, but 88 from Jaden Short's a bit of a worry. You hate to see it. Hopefully it's just a... Could they play Hawthorn? Tough score. I thought they'd be a pretty easy scoring team. Hopefully there's no role change there, no injury. Hopefully he's all right. Hewitt's back. He's the GOAT. If you traded Hewitt, that's on you. That was a ridiculous trade if you traded Hewitt. This guy is still D1, D2 for me, outside of obviously the GOAT Sicily at the moment. If you traded Hewitt, you need to now get him back. And he went up another 10K. So that's why you don't trade short-term injuries. And you just hold. You just hold because Hewitt's so good. Gibcus was obviously out health and safety protocols. So used him as a loop on McRae's score. Also used him... I couldn't really do much because of the games they played Friday. But I wanted to use him as a loop here. So got the 75. Missed out on what? 10 points, 12, 13 points on Coleman. And I did say, for those who... follow the channel, I did say that Coleman was going to score well against the Crows. His style was very good against the Crows. I think he even kicked a goal even. Can we see that from this screen? Yeah, he kicked a goal. 7 marks across halfback. That's where he got a lot of his points because the Crows have that style where they kick it out, often burn the ball. They're a young side, so they often burn the footy. That said, he got 6 marks the time before, but he got a free against. He was much more disciplined. Kicked a goal. These are nice numbers. We're liking what we're seeing, and that's essentially reset Coleman's break even to a 35. So we've got a couple more weeks out of him, and we're really happy about that. McCartan still tracking along, still in the very low break evens of 13. We're loving him as a field option. You assume Gibcus comes back. He's absolutely best 22. Break even of 48, dropping 60s. Probably field. Who did Brisbane play this week? Probably field at Tasmania. Yeah, McCartan and Dacos there. I don't think we'll go Gibcus unless we've got some type of loop with another out, but I don't think we do. Midfielders. So everyone will want to talk about this. Rioli with 7. This is a disgraceful effort by him. Barely played. Can't explain it. Bloke was going down in points as the game went on. So you just can't explain it. Didn't look near the footy. This is this is the issue you get when you pick a bloke. And yeah, I'll go through these guys in a minute. But this is the issue when you pick a guy and you haven't watched him and you just look at his scores. And that's what I did. I saw the scores. I liked the scores. I thought there's no shot that this guy is a dud. He couldn't be. He's dropped a 92 against West Coast, great, and a 72 against Collingwood. And yeah, the 92 came on the back of 3 goals, but the 72 came on some pretty decent footy. Tackle two. He's a tackler. He seems to get free kicks. 8 kicks, 6 handballs. That's not much to ask from a small player who you'd expect to be getting a lot of footy. 2 kicks, 2 handballs, 1 mark is atrocious. And then a free against. And no impact to the scoreboard is trash footy. I'm I'm really worried that he'll get dropped this week, and he deserves it. And that'll give us a hole here. Now, thankfully, we've played the ultimate dice roll, and Saligo looks an absolute ripper. So, love that. Anyway, Neil, 115 against the Crows. I don't think teams score highly on the Crows anymore. I don't think they're leaking big Supercoach scores or really huge Supercoach scores, but it's captain worthy. If you'd captain that, you'd be happy. Oliver with the 99. I think a lot of, guys like Oliver, I mean, I know I talk about Petrarca, but then Gawn also, who didn't score well. He's not here, but I think it's tough to score against West Coast because it's such a nothing game. There's no contest. With all respect to West Coast, there's no contest. So the guys that thrive off the contest, they're going to struggle. Oliver, Petrarca has done well on the back of a couple of goals, I think it was. 2 goals. So he's done well. He's still at the 28 touches, tackled a lot. 2 goals, 4. So he's done well on the back of that. Whereas, Oliver is not a goal scorer. He's got 29 touches, but they're not contested. They're all uncontested because West Coast offer no contest. So you don't get much of a score. What else to talk about? Tuke Miller looks amazing still. The big one, obviously, is Jack Steele. Out for 8 weeks. You have to trade him. Also leaked a cool 100K. So if you've been with the channel since the start of the year, you'll know when I put Steele in the team, I said, we always pick Steele at the start of the year, and he always leaks 100K by the buys. So he's done that, and he's also not going to play for another 8 weeks. So this is an L 2 years running now. I think Jack Steele is a wait for the buy type of guy. I won't start Jack Steele next year. I think I'll go. I mean, obviously that's something to talk about, but I think next year you probably go these 5, and you don't go Steele. You could go Petrarca as well, but I think you go these 5 next year. Or even Walsh. You can't. Steele just leaks too much. Cripps with the 83. Didn't see this game, but I assume it was a vintage. This is what I said. I assume it was a vintage Leon Cameron send-off. And I assume Ash and, what's his name? De Boer, I assume they both went to him. So, credit to it. You love to see it. Classic Leon Cameron. I hope that's what it was, and it just wasn't that he played poorly. Nick Martin, 59 on field, got scaled up. Luckily, he was on 40 at the end of the game, so he got scaled up a couple of points. We like this. We'll carry this guy into the buys. We'll hope that this is just a slow game for him. Break even of 86. You might see some people start to trade him out this week. I think that's a mistake. I think it's a mistake to trade Nick Martin. I think you got to hold on to him. And we got McComb slowly scoring. And Saligo. So we held him. He's got an 8 in his system. Does he? A 7 in his system. So he gets a 61. He ran like an absolute truck, 15 kilometers. Highest sprints on the ground, highest running on the ground. Break even now of 8. And he'll play the next couple of games for the Crows. So he might be able to take us through to the Crows bye, where we can switch him for someone else. So that's really handy. A really handy field option for the first bye. Which isn't, I don't think many people are in trouble for the first bye, which is round 12. You've still got Dogs, you've still got Crows, you've still got Gold Coast, still got Sydney, Hawthorn. I think you're playing with mostly a full team here, but it'd be handy to have Saligo as an option. on field. You know, we got Martin out that week. We got, you can just go like this, can't you? Yeah, so, you know, the Richmond players aren't playing. The Carlton guys aren't playing. So we've got a full team, but it's handy to have that on extra points. The more points you have on those weeks, the better chance you get of getting a good score with the rookie roulette. Rucks, yeah, so Sam Hayes, I mean, he's going to keep playing, but 55, you'd prefer to have that on the bench, but I don't think we get a choice. Goldstein was obviously going to destroy him. Whenever he comes up against a seasoned ruck, he gets wrecked, but whenever he plays against someone who's not quite up to standard as a ruck or a younger ruck, he does okay. So, you know, Goldstein ripped him up. Steph Martin, who's, you know, past it, he's done well. Ryder killed him. This would have been Bailey J. Williams or Strandiker. Absolutely ripped up. This would have been DeConning probably. So, plays well again. So, against Geelong, who don't have a sort of a, you know, they use Stanley and guys like that. I don't think we're too concerned there. Probably not too concerned against Essendon. And then you probably want to have got rid of him by his bye. So, or at the very least, you don't want him to be playing much later than this. You want to try to get him into Gorn. So I think he's only relevant for a couple more weeks. And Lysette's due back shortly, I assume. Bailey J. Williams, what an L pick this has been. Went down 15k. Just doesn't look like a player, does he, honestly? I got baited by this, the 78, 48. Yeah, I got baited pretty hard here. And he plays Bruce this week, so I probably lose him this week. I probably trade him because I can't afford him to get bodied by Bruce this week, and then he'll get bodied by. He might get some scores here, and then he'll get bodied by either Riley O'Brien or Strawn, whoever's playing at the time, and then that's West Coast bye. So yeah, L pick, waste of a trade. I went Hayes. For those that don't know, I went Hayes to Bailey J. Williams. Cashed out a little bit of money, so I just lost another 14k on Hayes. It's not a huge deal, but I did spend a trade to do it, so it is what it is. Yeah, Bruce, with Touchwood, Bruce is R2. We don't have to change him. What I will do is put English as R2 when he's available. He isn't available this week, for those wondering. Apparently he's really sick. So he was sick this week. It was not a hamstring. He was out due to sickness. And apparently he's that unwell that they probably will hold him. They're thinking of holding him again. Is it round 9? It's round 10. They're playing Gold Coast, so perhaps they don't want to... I don't know. Wins are important for the Dogs, but maybe they feel that they can win without English and they just want to hold him for one more. So we'll see. That might change after Gold Coast get the win. After Gold Coast got the win last week. So we'll see. It could be that they don't want to... Where's Mars? Kazali? It could be that they don't want to fly him out that far while he's unwell. So I'll keep an eye on that. Should I have traded him? Probably not, because I would have had to trade him. I would want to trade him back in towards the end of the year. 572k on the bench for, what is it now? 6-7 weeks. Hasn't played since round 5. It's now round 11, so 6 weeks. Probably an L, but look at these scores. They're so good. And if he can get back for the West Coast game, that's a pretty good game to come back in. You'd expect him to go well. Then he should smash this team too. Yeah, then it's his bye. Then he plays Bruce. I think he's got a pretty generous run here outside of Bruce. You know, Wits, he should still score well because around the ground he'll play very well. Hopefully he comes back soon. And then who we got here? Not much to talk about. I did trade in Darcy Cameron, for those wondering. I did do that trade after I downplayed it in the comments a little bit, but I actually really like it. And yeah, Butters scored better. I knew that was going to happen. Butters has fooled all of you this week. And the thing is that he won't get traded this week, but he's robbing all of you. He will go back to 50s and 60s next week. I'm certain of it. I could be wrong. Happy to be wrong. Either way, I'm really happy with this Darcy Cameron pick. The problem is now is that I need to trade Steele, and you will have to trade Darcy Cameron. I don't see how Grundy... They'll bring Grundy back and they'll play Grundy towards the end of the year, you'd think. So save a trade for Darcy Cameron because you will need to trade him towards the end of the year. Or you might need to trade him towards the end of the year, assuming they don't put Grundy on ice, which they might. But if they're in contention for the 8, Collingwood, they will bring Grundy back. So keep that in mind. Don't know what happened here, but it doesn't matter. This guy's in our team. We're playing him. And then, we got DeConning at forward at the moment, which we're happy with. Rosas is back. Love to see it. And, we spoke about Bailey Williams. So, what are we supposed to do this week? Well, you have to trade Jack Steele at some point. And if you're familiar with the channel, you'll know that I am really hot at the moment on having 7 mids. I want 7 mids because I just don't trust any of these guys on field. And they're my only choices. I don't trust any of these guys on field. So my real concern is that I don't have many good options as far as who to trade. So you get rid of Steele. And bear with us while the Supercoach page does its weekly crash. So hold on. All right, so we fixed that up. That's just a standard Supercoach thing. It happens to everyone all year. I'm just going to zoom out one because it's a little hard for me to see. So we're going to trade Steele. That gives us 760,000. And then we want to trade Bailey Williams. Well, we could do... and get gone. The issue is that when we have to field Rosas for a week, and I don't think there's a good Rosas option, or Saligo or Macomb for a week, and I don't like any of those choices. I in fact hate all of them. So I don't like that, but that is an option. And then we skip Clark, and I don't like skipping Clark either. The other one is doing this. I put Martin back, so trading out Bailey Williams, essentially taking the 14k loss, getting Clark in as the field option. Let me just sort this out. Clark in, and then we've got 874 to work with as far as a... as far as a mid goes, but we don't actually need to because we've got Brody, Parker, Canelio, Cameron, DeConning here. We could play... because Martin is a good on-field option and we've sworn by him. So we could look for a forward or a mid. So we could say, again, Nick Martin up, English down, and Gawn in again. Now, Gawn is going to go down. Gawn's got a break even of 220, so I don't want to get Gawn this week. That's my main issue with Gawn. And it sucks because I've got the money to do Gawn, and that was the whole plan. I was going to be able to get Gawn in 2 trades, piece of cake, through either Dacos and Bailey J. Williams. So we don't really want to do that because he's still leaking. So, and I'm still happy with these 2 on field. So we send him up. So it's about who do we address on field? Well, it's got to be a mid that we address on field here because we want 7 mids again. So it's about who do we like as far as the mids. I like Laird. I like Sam Walsh. I don't like Callum Mills. I'm just looking at 3-round average. So they're the sort of informed players. I really like Laird. I really like Walsh. And then as far as just the guys who have been good all year. Because keep in mind, if you're trading Jack Steele, here's an ultra premium. You want to bring in another ultra premium. You don't want... I mean, I say that, but I might not. You don't want to bring in a risky pick. But I don't have any ultra premiums left. So for you, if you have Jack Steele and you need to trade him this week, and you don't own Neil, Oliver, McRae, Miller, or Creeps, then pick one of those. Because they're the only 5 players that I would be happy to get in for Jack Steele. Pick one of them. Pick Dunkley if you don't have him. Pick Parker if you don't have him. Pick Sicily if you don't have him. Pick Hewitt if you don't have him. So they're the players that I would pick. And ordinarily I'd say The only other ultra premium is Gorn. But with a 221 break even, Gorn is leaking money. And I just don't like the idea of dropping a guy who's leaking cash in Steele to bring in another guy who's leaking more cash. I want someone who's making money. I want a value. I want a good value pick. And I just don't know who that is. It's not Mills. I don't care. I'm not putting Mills in my team. The issue is if I pick Ben Keys, who I like also, he's in a little bit of a form slump, and he doesn't seem to have the ceiling. Of course, it won't go. It won't show me. Here it is. Oh, come on. Would you like to show me? There it is. He has a really nice floor of 100. He scores hundreds in losses, in wins, but he only scores hundreds. And that's a lot of points to lose week on week, where you can get a guy like Laird. Well, the other one I'd like to check is, can we check him from here? We'll just have to check another Saints player in the minute. It's also important when Jack Steele's buy is. Another Crows player is another buy in the middle round, which we don't, which burns us. Actually, we play a couple of zeros at that point. But Laird's the one I like. That gives us 200k in the bank. Now, what does that 200k do us? It probably gives us 2 trades to Gorn next week. Or 2 trades to Gorn in his buy, rather. We're probably going to do Gorn during his buy rather than anytime soon. Just hope that he doesn't make it up. So that's probably what I'll do. Laird. I really don't like it though, but it's the only guy I trust here. I don't trust. Do I trust Josh Kelly? I've always liked Josh Kelly. For those who know the channel, I've always had him in my team and whatnot. He's susceptible to the tag though. Not that anyone's going to tag him coming up in the future. He's already had his tag rounds and he plays for the other team that does a lot of tagging. So look, let's just lock in Laird because that's the one I like. And we'll just have to have a think about what else we're going to do. We've also got the option to play Martin instead of Clark on field, which we like. We also have the option to play DeConning on field instead of Martin. We got Rosas. I just don't like what this does to the structure. I like having Martin on field. Look, to be honest, I think we might actually think about doing Gorn regardless of his break even. And just going a week where we have Martin and Clark. So how does that look? Put Martin up, English down, Gorn in. Now that looks nice. It's still 234k. It's Gorn out of the way. It's Hayes on the bench. We just hope that Martin and Clark are scoring nice. It doesn't address our defense at all, but that's cool. We have English to come back, so English just sits on here for a while, and then later, when we get rid of Hayes, English can go up. I don't mind this. I just hate that Gorn's about to go sub 500. He's about to go down another 50k. If you have a look at his projected price, he gets that. When's his buy? Around 13. He's under 600 when he gets to his buy. And we'd be paying 640 for him. And that 40k is... We don't like it. We don't like it, that's for sure, guys. What about break even of 108? Laird's probably a 630 player. Keys is probably a... Yeah, it's a really tricky one. The other thing I could do is bring... The other one I could do is bring in... Walsh, who has a favourable buy. It's an early buy, but it's favourable. I've always liked Walsh as well. Around 12 buys, so I only get 2 weeks out of him. But that's okay. Then he plays the next 2. And like I said, I've got a lot of players in the next two who aren't. So bringing a guy in who has that first buy is really handy as well. So maybe Walsh gets the look. Could be one there. Yeah, I'll be umming and ahhing about this all week. I don't think I'll actually make my decision anytime soon. But what I will do, because I need to scratch that itch, is just put, where is he? Just put Laird in the team because I like to scratch the itch. You know what I mean? That way I can say I had him in my team for a little while. One of the Crow boys. Feels really nice there. Clark there. We can go like this. Do some tricky stuff with Martin. It does make it tough to get English back in now. And I need to get him in next week. So that's the other tricky part. With no other ruck forward now, English is stuck here. English probably just plays. So the reason I like bringing in a mid is because I still just have one position here, Clark or Martin. I'm liking what DeConning's doing here. Got Rosas to cover that. And then next week, English just sits on my ruck and Hayes gets off the field and keeps generating cash slowly for us to eventually grab Gawn with just hopefully one more trade. And in fact, 239 plus 276, if he goes up to 300, oh, what's he expected to go up to? What's his break even? 10? Another 30k. So if he goes up 300 and Gawn comes down to about 570, we'd be very close in one trade to get Gawn into Hayes. And then the issue is that I'd need to make another trade because you don't want to bench Bruce. That's ridiculous. So it's an easy side trade there in the buys. And it's just about working out how to get these guys off the field. So, yeah, that's how it looks at the moment. I know a lot of people are getting Buku Karmas. I just don't have the trades to do him this week. I don't know what to say. I'd love to get Buku Karmas and skip Greg Clark. I just don't see a situation where that's feasible. I need to get rid of Bailey, J. Williams, and Steele. They're the two guys I've got to get rid of. Everyone else is making money. There's no one else worth trading unless it's Dacos. And I'm not doing it. I'm not trading Dacos. I need him. So yeah, anyway, guys, that's the look at that. That's the wrap this week. Let us know how you went. Let us know what you're doing with Jack Steele. Let me know if you've got any ideas. Cheers, guys. Have a good one.